Hey everyone, today we're going to have a look at a tier list for 9.7, and so far actually it's pretty balanced, except maybe a few, right? But it's probably more even than it has been in Season 9 so far at least. We're going to have a look at which are the best though for each role, and as always there will be timestamps and a list in the description if you prefer the quick version, and the explanations are in the video. AD carry is in the best place it has been in ages though. I think every AD is actually viable in some way or another, but there are a few at the top. Vayne is still leading the pack when it comes to that. You scale like a monster, but ever since the pressure attack build came through, you can do a lot more in the lane phase. Your lane phase is not going to be as weak as it used to be, and that is kind of what kept her down to start with, but also you do get stronger as you get better at her. With like a few more games under your belt, it's going to improve your general game a lot. Before all of this happened, before she was top tier, you would punish her early and you'd get a big lead that was too big for her to come back basically. That is how it works, but now she only needs 2 items to really carry the game. You're high damage, you can carry yourself, no pressure lane phase, so if you can't win or you have a bad support, it's not that big of a deal really, but if you do win lane, then you get out of control. One AD that is quietly becoming top tier is Ashe, especially when you look at below diamond, and a lot of it is about her lane phase. High range, endless poke with autos and volley, slows that were buffed to be better early game, and you're really hard to fight. She absolutely demolishes stuff like Lucian and Kai'Sa because if they want to move forward, you slow, you volley to the face, you run away, and always win that trade. Their mobility means absolutely nothing against an Ashe. The problem was kind of like you had no damage really, but you do more now than you did before after the crit changes, and you still have that big engage, so all in all, a really solid AD. Korea plays a lot of Ashe as well, but Stitch from Jin Air does it a bit differently, going for a "you're never going to kill me" build, so I'm going to link to that down below and you can check it out. He grabs a Phantom Dancer 3rd and sometimes a Bloodthirster 4th. It is less damage, but it means you kite better, you have a lot of life still, and you just don't die in fights. A runner-up for AD carries is going to be Jinx, so in my opinion, one of the easiest ones to play at a basic level, has the range advantage in most matchups, and then has the reset. A range advantage means that you're very safe, you won't die as much, you normally get the first hit in as well, the first big crit of a fight, which helps you win those fights. But then if you do kill somebody with that, with your Ahri rockets or whatever it is, you don't have to attack move or kite anymore, not properly because you're so fast. The last thing that is kind of the most underrated thing about Jinx is that if you're left alone with a tower, you demolish it. You take place, you get more gold, you nuke towers on the rest of the map as well with your minigun, and that is what really lets her take the lead normally. Finally, our honorable mention is going to be this kind of Korean misfortune that we found last patch. Blade Rush with Pressure Attack has a nutty win rate now. The idea is that you use your W active, it's a huge amount of attack speed, and that stacks your Pressure Attack faster. It applies the blade damage more, and you burst with autos. It's kind of like how a Cogmore W works. You fight with it, and you don't without. When that is over though, and you're waiting for it to recharge and stuff, you can go back to spamming your Q and your ultimate like normal Misfortune. So the build is really smart. It has a lot of synergy and moves Misfortune away from just being an ultimate machine. Second role today is going to be the same as normal. Mid lane has a few more standout champions, I guess, and Zed is now over a 50% ban rate, by the way. The main difference about Zed recently is his lane phase is now a lot better than before. His Q does more damage, his shadow can be used more, and a higher range to swap. This patch, though, he got a few more nudges with runes as well, so Ultimate Hunter was buffed, and so was Eyeball Collection. It is 10 stacks, but with how aggressive Zed is, he can easily get to that. The thing is, with him getting more fed in lane phase, it means that he's more of a problem in general because he just doesn't sit there, right? He starts to roam around and win other lanes as well. The usual go-to kind of counter to Zed was buying tabbies, right? They used to be 30 armor, but they were nerfed last season to only give 20. So lethality is actually way better at nuking down carry targets, even if you try to build defense. Katarina does a very similar thing and is quite a bit better now in 9.7, so she's one we're going to focus on just quickly, being another champion that can snowball out of control. You have 3 keystones that are pretty good at the moment. Conqueror for more healing, Electrocute for more damage, or even Dark Harvest for more like assassination. The Conqueror healing is pretty bonkers since your ultimate will heal you for every person you hit with all of the damage, and you'll even do true damage for the rest of the fight once it's active. It's actually really good. I do also want to show you this quad heal build as well though. That's pretty troll, but it actually works really well. So this is Showmaker, a Korean pro. He runs Conqueror, Ravenous Hunter from Rune, so double heal there, and then Gunblade into Death Stance, so double heal from items. Death Stance was changed to heal from all damage, by the way, and you have your AD ratios on your abilities, so you do a bit less damage, but you can be insanely hard to shut down. You're going to combo and do a lot of damage still, but heal back up as well, and I'll link to his profile down below so you can check it out. For a run-up today, we're looking at Ahri, and she has shot up in 9.7, probably the easiest way to get some LP at the moment from the mid lane. You can pick her every single game, and she's going to be good. She's mobile, she's safe, she's high damage, she creates these plays with her charm, but she can also end the plays with her damage herself, but there are 2 builds. The first one is full assassin, really, Luden's, Electrocute, and Burst style, the normal way, really. The second is Glacial Augment, though, and going for slows, right? You get the GLP into Twin Shadows, and the idea is that you slow people, you can't miss your charm or your follow-up damage damage after that. Talon is going to be here as well, who works very similar to Zed, but more of a focus on the roaming side of things, obviously. His damage is really high, but a lot of it is AoE with his rake and his ultimate, so even though you're aiming at one person and probably going to kill that one person, you're going to end up doing extra damage around them and helping to win the rest of the fight. He is pretty strong again, getting a bit more popular over the patch and not on many people's radar just yet, even though for chaos style solo queue games, he is one of the best. The jungle hasn't really had much change in 9.7 except for a few shakeups, like a new one at the very top. Vayne is a mid-game powerhouse, not amazing early, not amazing late, but amazing at 2 to 3 items especially. The reason she is now number 1 is because of Aftershock, everyone's favorite keystone. Everything she was good at is now amplified by the fact that you can dive in, take 0 damage while still doing full damage yourself. Your mid-game is your point where you don't die straight away because of the items and the Aftershock, but you still burst through everybody, and I do mean burst, like you press R, sheen damage, and somebody is going to be dead, and that is why she is so insane for solo queue. Our next one, Marcy, has been kind of sitting on the edge of things for a while, but now with the new Wit's End, he's finally gone over the top for solo queue. He is a lot better. Wit's End is crazy on him. It's good damage, healing, and some magic resist to stop you getting burst as hard. The build a lot of people are going now, though, is Blood Razor, Rage Bait, Wit's End, and then a Death Dance. So you've got the bleed there, the heal from 2 items, the heal from Conqueror, and it's keeping you alive without having to stop you building damage. Even though you don't have to stop building damage, this guy in Challenger goes Blood Razor, Rage Blade, and then tank afterwards. He is also doing the boost strat with the Lulu or Taric sometimes, which I made a video about a while ago, but basically it's the freest of LP. I'll link to his profile so you can see what I mean down below. Jarvan is still going to be our runner-up. He is still one of the best early game junglers, but it isn't all or nothing, and that's the major difference between that and something like a Rek'Sai. You're still going to stack some health together, you're still going to have your engage, and once you've got your Guardian Angel or your Sterix that most people get 3rd and 4th, you can kill people, but it is much harder for them to kill you when you dive in. At the moment, I think he brings a little bit too much to the table. He's really well-rounded. He does well in every game. He does more damage than some carry junglers, as long as you do hit your combo at least. You also got your utility, though. You've got your attack speed buff for your team on your flag, which was buffed recently, the shielding, and the engage as well. Finally then, Rammus was slightly buffed this patch now that the Cinderhulk burn does 300% damage to minions and monsters, meaning he actually gets a little bit more gold. Now for Rammus, that's actually perfect because you can gank well and you can be annoying with Thornmail and run around and stuff, but it's really at 3+ items that he wins a lot of games. I know that might sound a little bit weird because you think of Rammus with his Moby boots, but his win rate actually spikes once you hit that point around 30 minutes at 3 items. He becomes insanely hard to kill, and that is why he's so good. Into our top lane, and we're just going to jump into the best one, which you probably have guessed is going to be Kayle, and she might have been nerfed this patch, but it honestly made absolutely no difference at all. She is still the strongest champion, maybe even in the entire game. That's only if you don't completely feed before 20 minutes, right? If it's not a disaster game where everyone loses, then you always stand a good chance to carry, so she is really good for solo queue. Just as an example, she has the highest win rate I've ever seen from just completing tier 2 boots. Basically, just if you can get a few items, if you can upgrade your boots, you scale too well. AP is a little bit more popular now with the nerfs hitting the AD on your E. It's actually even better, even stronger now with the full AP build, especially with Gunblade and Rylai's. It gives you the damage, but more healing, more kiting, and makes you even harder to kill. Just so we don't talk about Hecarim or Jax like every single video, those two are really good still, by the way. Let's talk about one who is better now, Neeko. You can go into AP like we saw Broken Blade do, I think, but this is especially the AD build again, since you have the range advantage in most matchups and you crush your towers with your W max. It's also because with the new Wit's End, you've got an even better single target build, which is what she is amazing at anyway, just to split push and win that 1v1. I honestly think now that your E roots for so long and it's so easy to get the empowered version out, the AD build will always be good because you can hold them in place while you pounded them. I'm going to link to this guy below as well, who plays a lot of Neeko, and he goes mid lane and top lane with both AD and AP. Korea are low-key kind of obsessed with her at the moment, and if you do go AP, give Ludens and Protobelt a try first 2 items. Those two are really good together. Now, even though Riot does say Riven is not OP, she is my runner-up. She's still monstrous solo queue and has an incredible mid-game. If you win your lane or you do well, and that kind of comes down to skill, or maybe if you ganks or something, you get your items faster, right? You end up becoming too strong, and that's probably why everybody hates playing against her. There isn't really much I can say that I haven't said last patch or the patch before that or the one before that, but really like good runes, good items, especially Death Dance and Sphere Sojin, but just a mega strong champion for team fights. Last up for our top laners, we have Nasus. He doesn't look amazing at the moment, but if you just look at gold and below, at that point he's pretty much the best top laner. Games at lower ranks do last longer, which means more time to stack and more likely you can just 1v9 the game, but also more chance that they're going to leave you alone in the lane phase. If he is in the game now, especially with the stacking buff that he had a while ago, it's sort of like a ticking time bomb, right? You've got to end the game before he gets too powerful, but that means you need to force and be proactive, and that's normally not how solo queue goes. Last up today, we're going to be looking at supports, and it has been the last one for the last few videos because honestly, not much is changing. Either play Ardent or play something that kills Ardent early. Morgana is kind of the best of both in a way and is now one of the most banned champions in the entire game, by the way. That's partly because you can't play tanky stuff into her like Galio or Thresh because she completely stops anything you want to do and is completely anti-fun. She's got the defensive side of things, right? You can stick a shield on AD carry, let them just run in and be completely safe while they do damage, but she can also get a bind and get a lot of kills right now. She definitely adds more damage herself after the changes. When I play against her, I notice this a lot as well. Like if I'm half health, right, just half health, you will spam a W on top of me and it actually seriously hurts because of the damage amp, so you can't recover and you pretty much have to base. For a support that is getting better recently, we're going to take a look at Lux. She is now a genuine support, and we've caught this in my career video last patch if you remember that. Ludens is not bad on her, you can do it, but it's now a lot of Athene's first for the damage and the heal, then into Censor, Uncensor, and stuff like Redemption. So this is still good damage. It's good catch with her Q as well. Athene's is giving you AP when you go those items, so you can still bring damage and you can kill people, but now when you shield, you heal people, and that shield is massive. Those shields and heals we're talking about, they also apply Censor as well. They get really big, and now you're way more than just a bind and damage source. You're a proper support. As weird as that sounds, you have the damage, but you also have the utility. The only other champion that I can kind of compare that to in damage and utility side is Nami, really, and she could take the throne of supports right now, to be fair. She is very well rounded and a proper lane bully. She can poke from range, she can heal up her AD after a trade, but also enhance their trades with the slow and the bonus damage from her E. She's got really good setup with her ult and a bubble, but those can also be used to get away from people too, so she'll work with any AD carry, whether they want to go in or whether they want to run away. I kind of like to think of this as having a pretty decent lane phase, which goes into a really good mid game where she can disrupt entire team fights, set things up, protect people, bring some crowd control, and a bunch of heals and buffs. Soraka also does a lot of that as well, but she is more focused on the healing aspect, right? She does it better, but doesn't set things up as well as a Nami can. She will poke in lane though. She does have the damage, which against like a bad AD carry or support players will provide constant healing and damage and pretty much win the lane on its own. Over the last few patches, she has gotten a lot better, and a lot of that is because of barrier now. They take that on Soraka, so when they focus you, you have to get through their health normally, plus barrier, plus your AD carries heal. If they don't do that, and they go for the AD carry instead, then you spam heal them, and that's also a really bad idea, so it doesn't really leave you with many easy options, to be honest. So that is going to be the tier list for today, and I know there are a lot of good champions in League right now. I actually think it's in a pretty good spot, to be honest. I'm going to be playing a bit of Ashe today on stream, I think, so if you want to come and see how we get on, there's a link down below, but for now, I will leave you with the robots.